You're listening to the Liam Scott Ryan Show, where coming second is never an option.
Good evening, Scott.
Hello, Liam.
How are you today, my man?
Sore.
That anus, Scott. That anus. You got to be more careful with it. Cream, I tell you. Cream.
Jip.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody. We're on episode 16, I believe. Ooh. We're finally out of that fucking misery that's known as January as well.
Sweet 16. Sorry, forgot you were here. Yeah, well,
yeah, February now, so that's 1 month of bullshit over.
I actually think it's colder though.
Well, yes, the weather forecast does say that.
But it is getting lighter because I left work, when was it, Friday, and it was still a little bit light at 5:15.
Well, hello to all our new listeners as well, because I don't know, since we've gone iTunes, Scott, I've seen an increase in usage. So there are people fucking listening.
About time,
exactly. We're not quite on the 315 views a episode that I want to be, but you know, edging slowly. That's there.
Very specific.
Well, I told you that's at the point when YouTube actually start monitoring your content. Do you remember I told you that?
Yeah, and shit gets serious.
Yeah, it means
like,
that
we can start selling adverts to people. And
exactly. But I wanted to talk about iTunes because there's one drawback of being online, Scott.
What's that?
In that sense, is that if we have a certain amount of bandwidth a month we can use, so that's a certain amount of times people can download our podcast.
Okay.
So if you go, so at the moment we've got, I can't remember exactly what is it. It's like 5 gigs.
Okay.
But each podcast is 100, whatever the fuck they are, megs or whatever. So for every 10, that's 1 gig. So theoretically, for every, if you like had like 9, oh fuck my maths. But anyway, if enough people listen to us, we've got to start paying for it.
Oh, we've got to actually pay for extra bandwidth.
Yes.
Okay.
And
well, I think they should fucking pay for it.
Well, yeah, I don't.
Not iTunes, you cunts.
So yeah, exactly.
All you
bastards out there, just if you can just do me a favor. I understand you guys fucking suck the ghost of Steve Jobs' cock, but if you can just do me a fucking favor and go on YouTube and watch it on YouTube, that way I don't have to worry about ever fucking paying for this shit. And I don't particularly, you know, it's not much, but it's you know, when we go. It's an unlimited growth, so a bit, you know, at what point does it end? At the end of the day, I guess what the big guys like Rogan do is they just buy the space themselves and just do it themselves.
Yeah, probably.
You don't go through Podomatic or fucking any of that shit. You just buy you can buy blocks of space and
like business style.
Exactly, but. At the moment, I'm not ready to set up an IT department of the Liam Scott Ryan Show.
To be honest, though, I reckon that's probably why the numbers have gone up. Is because we are on these mediums that make it a lot easier for people to download. Because for me, like, podcast is all about on the go. Never mind. I do like to sit and watch one if it's interesting, but usually it's not. It's usually just 2-3 people sat in a room and the camera switches between their faces. You know.
Yeah.
But this way, people download it, can listen it on their phone, they can pause it, they can put it back on, blah, 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 blah.
You can do that shit with YouTube, man. YouTube,
you can't listen to YouTube on the go.
Why not? Oh, what? Because, you have to stream it?
Yeah.
Alright, I suppose so. What? And then when you... Because I don't even know how it works on iTunes. So when it downloads, it means someone's downloaded the whole file.
Yeah. So you'll download it, 100 meg or whatever it is.
I noticed you got...
just archive it.
On the day that we got a huge fucking whack of views, I did notice that one of your mates had messaged you in regards to our show, saying that he'd had troubles downloading it, and he tried multiple times to download it, and then it finally worked. So I'm wondering if he didn't try and download it 20, 30 times and got our numbers up.
He's got that kind of staying power, to be honest. He was very complimentary about it, Mr. Skinner, Neil Skinner. But yeah, I don't see him sat. He's got a life and a wife.
I don't know. Maybe if he downloaded it 30 times, well, anyway, to anyone out there, like, yeah,
please don't beg people to download it 30 times.
No, don't fucking download it 30 times. Go on YouTube. That's the
one like would be nice.
One
like.
Yeah, well, no, we've got one like now.
Oh, we got one.
Yeah.
Hey, moving on up.
Yeah, no comments, no dislikes, just one like.
I think that might have been me.
I found myself as well. I've been listening to other people's ones, and I do, not much, just the ones that are on Podomatic, because whenever it tells us where we are in the charts, I like to see what's directly above us.
Yeah.
To see if we're better than it.
Yeah.
You bastards.
And what they like.
You're at space 8054, and we're at space 8055.
Well, we're in the top 200.
Oh, that's comedy. We're at 350 now, I think, in comedy.
Oh.
If you get 1 day's worth of activity, it jumps up, and then if you get no activity, you go 400 spaces back down. It's a tipsy-topsy word. But it's funny because I've been listening to other people's, and a lot of them sound shit.
Yeah, I've heard that our audio is quite good. That's some good feedback I've had off people.
Well, good. Like, I was listening to my friend. She does a radio broadcast, like at a radio station, and the audio on it's just appalling. I can't believe it. But then I guess you work at a radio station, they might have old equipment and shit like that.
Well, it depends. There's radio stations and there's radio stations.
Oh, it's like a community station.
Well, there you go. It's not, XFM or anything like that.
No.
I'm not pissing on a bonfire. It's just we're talking about different leagues.
Yeah. But I wouldn't want to do a radio one because you'd just be restricted. I'd have to restrict everything I fucking say.
Yeah,
that's the whole point. Say fuck.
That's the whole point. We do a podcast. We're in charge, non-censored.
Do you think like Howard Stern was the first person to kind of really ever do it? Because he was one of those people. He was like that radio DJ that his stuff was too controversial, so he kind of had to go onto cable and make
that serious radio and stuff.
Yeah,
you had to subscribe to.
Yeah, you had to subscribe and pay because. Yeah, I was wondering the other day that because it wasn't classified as a podcast, but if you look at his radio shows, they are very podcasty.
Yeah.
People sitting around in the room. They used to film them all because they had so many birds with big tits on it. So
yeah,
you had to film it.
Well, it'd be a waste not to. I don't know if he was the first. I know, yeah, probably. I don't know where the even the idea came from.
I know it's an Apple word, podcast.
Okay.
It was created by it was
to put on your iPod.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really offended me. Someone told me that as well. I was like, "There's no way." And I was like, oh shit, it is.
Why did it offend you?
Well, because I'm, it's like, calling it a Hoover instead of a vacuum cleaner. I thought,
how dare you? Fucking always Apple, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. I fell into them by accident.
Yeah? Would you remember what the first one you ever listened to was?
Yep. It was Joe Rogan. I think it was number 56 or 26, and it was the one he had with. It was the first one with Stanhope on it.
And is that what it was? That you follow his Stanhope and wanted to hear Stanhope?
It was, yeah.
You
basically,
thought it was going to be.
I put it on YouTube. I was like, Doug Stanhope. There must be some new stuff. I've seen it all, but there's always new videos coming up.
Yeah.
And I saw that Joe Rogan Experience. I was like, Rogan.
Did you know who Joe? You knew who Joe was beforehand.
I'd seen his comedy before, like that. Can't remember the name of it now. But the really good one where he does his no arc story.
Yeah. Isn't that the monkey pants in space? Or?
No, I'm not sure. It's if you write Joe Rogan 2006, that's what usually comes up, and he's wearing like a yellow shirt and a backwards horrible cap. It was the noughties. People got crazy. But yeah, it was just them two sat on a couch and this random dude in a small box on the video, like in the corner. And that's obviously Red Band, their producer dude.
Yeah.
And it was like, this is awesome. This is two stand-ups that I think are really good. Just sitting around talking. There's no, it's not contrived or, and there was no like, oh, we can't talk about that. He was sponsored by the Fleshlight. And they were talking about the best way to fuck it, and that there was a new one coming out with vampire teeth for all the Twilight fucktards. And it's like, whoa, really? Wow, that's interesting. And before I knew it, Yeah, I became such a Rogan fanboy. I didn't even really branch out until about 2 years ago. Start listening to different ones.
Well, we got our own, mate.
Oh yeah.
One thing
I
I
find
watched.
myself slightly interesting.
One thing I watched that I wanted to talk to you about. I was wondering, you know Adam Curtis, don't you? Because he's got a new one out.
Yeah, I've seen all but the last 10 minutes of it.
What, the fucking 2 hour and 30 minute? Okay, I just want to say that
You're going to say what I'm going to say as well.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to say it's a bit of a fucking wank fest. I read somewhere, well, this gives Adam Curtis the option, he's not doing it with the BBC. He's got freedom. So what he's got freedom to do is take a scene that should be fucking 5 minutes and turn it into a 20-minute scene. I gotta wait 15 fucking minutes between this guy talking. It's like, okay,
you can't see it, but I'm nodding in agreement vigorously.
Yeah,
it's exactly what
it's too much, man. Like his early documentaries were solely like that. There wasn't any commentary or audio. It was just him compiling footage.
Yeah.
Of events, and you watched it, and they were interesting.
There was a narrative, though. It wasn't.
No. There was no narrative. There was no talking. It was the first two he ever did.
Okay.
The first few he ever did, there was no talking. I've watched them, and you do kind of switch off, but it is kind of interesting to watch old footage of the thing. And then eventually he started talking over them.
Documentary-esque.
Well, yeah, talking over them and telling the story, and they were incredible. And then now it just. I don't know. I really enjoyed it, but
overcooked.
It's 2 hours and 20 minutes. It's called Bitter Lake. If you haven't watched any Adam Curtis, don't start with that because
it'll turn you off.
Yeah, it would completely fucking turn you off because
just the length of it, and you'll be like, "This is a bit arty." Like the amount of times there was a camera focused on one Afghani's face. Like just his eye looking at you. I get it. He's looking at me.
Part of it was quite Cloverfield, like hidden footage. There were scenes where the camera wasn't facing anything, and you're like, okay, the cameraman's moving the camera. Why isn't this edited out?
Yeah.
Why do I have to watch the cameraman move it up to the sky for a couple of seconds and then move it back down?
Yeah.
That's what editing's called, Mr. Curtis.
Yeah, it was very. I enjoyed it as well. Great story. They're always fucking fascinating.
Oh yeah,
always fascinating. But yeah, oh my god, it fucking dragged on like nobody's business.
It was, the ending. They talk.
I haven't seen the last 10 minutes.
It links back to ISIS. That's the ending of it.
Oh, ISIS is the beginning of. Well, it's the end product of all this shit that's been going on. And Saudi Arabia, and do you remember me saying to you, I wanted to read that book, The Siege of Mecca?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was mentioned in it as well, but it wasn't very long, and it's fascinating that this is all. And there was a Stanhope joke about it a few years ago about we need to arm the rebels. Well, who the fuck are these rebels that we're arming? They're now called ISIS.
Yeah,
and. You can say what you like about Stanhope, he's just a drunken fuck that tells shit jokes, but he saw that very clearly. Very clearly. Like 3-4 years ago.
What was the Nightmare of Terror, or what was the Curtis one?
Yeah, that was Bush and...
Yeah, that was a 3-parter. If anyone's gonna... check him out. Definitely check him out, because he's one of the greatest documentary makers of our time.
Yeah.
In terms of telling it how it is. If you want to work out why we're all consumer zombies... There's some great ones. Pandora's Box, that series.
What's the one with Ayn Rand?
I think that's one of the Pandora boxes.
They talk about Silicon Valley and the rise of that, and she was all part of blah blah blah. He weaves a fucking tale.
Yes,
he really does.
He does, but yeah, he's been given a bit too much free leeway. I think the last thing he did a concert in relation with Massive Attack.
Oh yeah.
He's probably been listening to too much Massive Attack. That's a bit long-winded and.
Do you think he's a pothead? I get a real distinct feeling he might be a bit of a pothead.
I don't know. I don't really know even what the fuck the guy looks like.
Hey, he looks like a white guy with silver hair that wears, like a dinner jacket and a shirt, a bit like Hitchens, but not all the way done up. Bit of a rebel.
I also finished watching The Fall, season 2. Great. Again, it's got its faults at the end, but it's still a great show. Not interested, Scott?
It's there on the list, but not at the top. Like, I need to see it right now. At the moment, new things just kind of keep coming out. Like today, I found out there was a new Louie CK.
Oh yeah,
Didn't know that.
No, that's something to. What was it called?
Live at the Comedy Store.
Okay.
And it's the one in LA as well. Which
how recent is it?
Pretty recent. I think it came out last few days. And only thanks to the good graces of Mr. Stephen T. Hanley. Thank you, sir. because I think $5 and you get like 5 downloads. So he gave me his password. And
good on Louie for kind of going with that whole he started that whole thing, selling the tickets himself, selling the DVDs himself.
Well, if nobody knows, what he started doing was he would do an hour special, but you could only buy it off him on his website, and it cost $5.
And all the tickets for his gigs were all relatively cheap, and they were all the same price, and he kept the cost low because he didn't have to pay anyone else.
And Bill Burr said a great thing, he just released his latest special, December or October last year.
Yeah.
And it's on Netflix exclusively.
Oh yeah, I watched it. Yeah, I watched it.
But his deal was people were getting oh, you can only get it on Netflix. Why can't I download it? And blah blah blah. He was like, look, because you fuckers won't pay for this shit anymore. You just torrent it. So I'm left with the decision: do I pay for this myself and end up with $150,000 business card, or do I give it to Netflix and let them promote it and pay for it and blah 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 and have it for a year, and then it's mine? Well, so it's new ways of doing business.
One thing I'm actually getting a bit fucking psyched for is, what is it? I think it's the 8th of February. We got the first episode of Better Call Saul.
Oh, really?
And from reading the reviews, people say it's pretty fucking good, man. It's in the same kind of air. It's the creators of Breaking Bad, but doing the story completely separate to Breaking Bad. Apparently, it's like 20% comedy, 80% drama. So it's not just it's not like just Joey, where it's just 20 minutes of, Saul doing one-liners. There's actually apparently they use the same technique as Breaking Bad, where at the beginning of the episode you see, the time leaps.
Yeah, you see the end.
You see the ending and the beginning, and I've got my hopes that Bill Burr will be in it a bit as well, because there's
reserving judgment.
Yeah, I don't know. The reviews, because from what I've read from the reviews, most of the people reviewing it were saying that they were going to be pretty harsh. They weren't just going to hold it up to the limelight of Breaking Bad and say, right, it's Breaking Bad, this is awesome.
Yeah.
They actually say that they're very present. They don't say it's groundbreaking. They just say that they're very pleasantly surprised by the pilot episode. And you always know what it's like with a pilot episode.
Well, yeah.
Even the first episode of Breaking Bad, it's not groundbreaking, or
it wasn't as polished or anything like that. It was a bit clunky in parts.
Yeah,
like that fucking music at the end. Down, tick down, 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 tick down, down, tick down, tick down, tick down. It was all very So yeah, you blew the budget on that fucking RV, didn't ya? Didn't ya? Yeah. Where's John? Get him in his synthesizer in here. We need some music. No, I'm not going to judge it. I love Breaking Bad. I thought it was a cracking show, but yeah. I'm not a big... It's like, what if they did that with Sopranos,
Well, spin-offs. Well, isn't... Actually, one of the guys from Sopranos has got his kind of own show, which is a bit like a spin-off of The Sopranos.
Oh, yeah. What's his name? Old Dante in... He's Dante in Sopranos, but he's actually... Fuck, what's his name? He plays in the E Street Band.
I think he's like in Alaska or something like that.
Steve Van Zandt is his name.
Is that it? Yeah, that's it. And he's in Alaska. I think he's in Alaska or some cold country. I can't remember.
And he looks exactly like Silvio.
Yeah, he's dressed exactly the same in the promo pictures I've seen. Yeah, I don't know. Everyone always talks about spin-offs and the shows that worked and the shows that didn't, but 9 times out of 10 it's the shows that didn't.
Yeah, so as I say, reserving judgment and give it a go.
But yeah, I know. It's getting to that time of year where now I've got a few gigs are being announced. I'm getting excited about 2015, Scott.
Yeah,
I think the podcast is really fucking kicking behind.
Well, we've gone up from 3 to 60.
Yeah,
views, that is.
We'll have a new thing next week for the podcast. There'll be a phone number. We'll have our own number, Scott.
Oh yeah, so yeah, listen out for that, because we'll want you to phone in with
Yeah, starting from next week, you'll be able to. What I'm going to do is you'll be able to ring a number and leave a voicemail, and depending on the voicemail and say whatever you want, and if it's funny and good enough, you could be appearing on the show, or we can, if you've got any questions, or even insult us and call us shit. That would be funny,
Yeah, the question thing's a really good idea as well. If you've got any questions that you would really like to put to us, then yeah, that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, so that would be all I got to do is go to the shop and buy a chip, like.
Yeah, well, you'll have a phone number, and I might as well.
Yeah.
You never know. By next week, I might be back on the cellular network.
Well, we're gonna save that for the second half. That story, Scott. Remember?
Oh yeah, I bet you're all wrapped in anticipation. What? That sounds like he doesn't. What?
Doesn't have a phone?
Shh.
No.
Me? Fucking phones. More trouble than they're fucking worth. So am I. Yeah.
Right, anyway, you're going to tell me about you getting that weed. Remember?
Oh, yeah, okay, so, well...
After quite a long weekend, which Scott will explain later on, he found himself without weed, and I want to find out the lengths he went to. Imagine, no phone, no way of getting in contact with anybody. It's a Sunday.
I'm in the middle of a two-day hangover, so I still don't really want much to do with anyone.
He's pretty sensitive still.
Yeah, just don't want to I don't want to speak to people, don't want to look at them. All seems like too much. So anyway, woke up, realised, oh shit, I haven't got anything. And that would really help with the pain. So it's like, okay, right, I don't have my phone. Now, obviously, where's everyone keep their goddamn phone numbers? In their phone. So I was scratching around like, oh, what am I going to do? Light bulb. I've got, I synced my phone and my contacts on my computer.
Oh, yeah.
A long while ago. So I just need to open Outlook on my PC and bang, there's all my numbers.
And did it work?
Fucking great, yeah. It's like, right, okay, I got a couple of options here. So I grabbed the house phone and it's like, right, here we go. I'm going to phone this guy. And I get 3 numbers in and it starts ringing. I hear like, duh. It's like, hang on, I've only put 3 numbers in. What the fuck's going on here? I get put straight through to BT. Going, oh yeah, sorry sir, you can't use your phone because you have an outstanding balance on your bill. Would you like to pay that now? I'm like, fuck off. And I hung up. Like, Jesus Christ, they try and get money out of you any which way they can.
Well, you must have thought it was like predictive text. It's like, oh, you're trying to call a drug dealer. We'll put you straight through after 3 numbers.
Yeah, like, what the fuck is going on? I definitely haven't dialed the ball. So then I was like, shit, I can't make phone calls out. Well, that makes things even more difficult, really. So I was like, right, fuck this. I need milk. So I went down to the Sainsbury's Express.
Oh, coincidental.
Well, it's just like
milk is
milk and a cash point.
Milk, cash point, and drugs are located in the same area. Okay, well, carry on.
So yeah, I got my money out. I got my milk, and I went and was like, right. I wrote down 2 numbers on a post-it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, right, fuck it. Am I really going to use a payphone? Yeah, I'm going to use a payphone. Phoned up one of my guys and was like, yeah, can you sort me out? I haven't got a phone though, so there's not really any way for you to know where I am.
Yeah.
So managed to he was like, okay, look, don't worry about it. I'll phone someone I know. They're in a car or what have you, and they'll drop it round to you. I was like, awesome. Gave him my home phone on the off chance I could receive calls, which I could. And I get in and wait 3 hours.
Okay. And
just think, no, this ain't gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen.
Were you tempted to walk back to a payphone?
Yeah, there's one over the road. I was very fucking tempted. And I was just like, nah, this ain't gonna work. And then the phone rang, and it was he was like, yeah, he's gonna be with you in like 2 minutes, and he's on a motorbike. I'm like, okay. Do you want him to come to the door? I'm like, fuck no, I don't want him to come to the door. Unless he's got a pizza, that looks really dodgy. So yeah, he just kind of pulled up, and the kind of banter you have with drug dealers.
Give me the drugs.
Hello. How's it going? You cool? Yeah, I'm cool. How you doing? Cool, bruv. Cool.
Nice to see ya.
Alright, see you later. So then, yeah, he fucks off, and I just, I'm like make that 50 times happier than I was at the beginning of the day. Just because I knew, right, that's it. The pain will now go.
The worst is when you're waiting on it with nothing to wait on it with.
Yeah. I just sat there fucking watching the darts and feeling too weak to even get up and throw some myself. And it was like, right. But as soon as I had that first J, man, it was... I don't know how to explain the relief.
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to take a short break now. And then at the end of this commercial break, you'll hear you'll hear something that will. Fuck it.
It'll set up the next story.
It was set up for the next story, but you're about to witness the
Don't
wrath.
judge me now, you fucks.
Yeah. Listen out. So yeah, it's a really good song as well. So hope you enjoy. You're gorgeous. Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. You're listening to the Liam Scott Ryan Show, sponsored by Crack.
All right, 1, 2, 3, go! I've been hooked on a habit that's been keeping me down, and I've looked, but you know I've been looking for a way out, 'cause I don't got no time, no time, no time for the blues, and feeling so damn down, no time for the blues. I walked up into people cutting me in line, and I still check out first, and you know they say, oh, it's 'cause he's white. They may be right, but I don't got no time, no time, no time for the blues. Feeling mine right now, no time for the blues. Got no time, got no time. I got no, 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 I don't. No, I don't. Got no time, no time, no time for the blues. And feeling so damn down, no time left for you. I got no time, no time, no time for the blues. And feeling so damn down. No! 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 Wow! No time! I got no time! I got no, 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 I don't. No, I don't. Got no time, no time, no time for the blues. And feeling so damn down, no time left for you. I got no time, no time, no time for the blues. I'm feeling so damn down. No! 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 No!
First, saved message. Received yesterday at 12:56 a.m.
Fuck you, and do what you tell me. Fuck you, and do what you tell me. Yeah, fucking gay loads, man. Oh, yeah, it was Sunday. I've got a strong day. This is
To return the call at your normal call rate, press hash.
Okay.
To listen to the message again, press 1.
So,
To save the message, press 2. To delete
what did
the
you do
message-
this weekend, Scott?
Well, Friday was a bit of a get together. The old darts team. I used to play in a darts team in one of my old jobs. And yeah, we all kind of parted ways, you know. People got lives to go this way, to go that way. But it was nice. Yeah, there was a little tournament set up by my mates Neil and Eddie. They did a really good job. Went down there, cracking, seeing everyone, game of darts, you know. And one of the things about the darts is that I think it was Eric Bristow used to say you can take darts out of the pub, but you can't take the pub out of darts.
It's always a drinking man's game, isn't it?
Oh yes, and bevies did flow. I think I went out. It wasn't even quarterfinals.
I was gonna say, what time did you get out there?
I got there at about.
Did you go straight from work?
Yeah, so it was about 6:45, and pretty much everyone was there, and we got kicked off straight away. That's the thing. You don't want to muck about too much because there's lots of games to play.
Yeah.
Some people aren't as swift as others. You don't all want to be staring at someone throwing at double one all night.
Yeah.
Which can fucking happen. Happened to me. Put my hands up. Happens to the best of us. So, yeah, no, it's going really well, and then it doesn't because I'm sloshed and I kind of get knocked out, and then, you know, it's always been the same with me. My interest level drops right off.
Well, yeah, there's nothing to occupy yourself anymore, is there?
Well, I could watch people and I could, you know, but I'm too busy. I've always been a craven fucking drinker.
Well, it's fucking Friday night, man. And, you
Yeah.
know, what else are you going to fucking do, Scott?
Exactly. And I was seeing loads of friends that I hadn't seen in a while, so I got a little bit overexcited.
Yeah. Well, I received a phone call from Scott at about 9 o'clock telling me he'd been knocked out. And I got to say, he was a bit drunk and incoherent, but he sounded all right.
I was doing okay. At 9, I think.
That was 9:30.
9's still in the memory. So,
But you don't remember talking to me.
no.
Still in the
No.
memory, but not that much in the memory.
Foggy. So then I found out that they had like a deal on Jaeger bombs. I think that was Neil's fault. Thanks, Neil. So yeah, I just started going a little bit mad.
What was the deal? Do you remember?
Nope.
Probably like 4 for 10 or something like that.
It was something stupid. So yeah, I just started handing them out, and then obviously someone else bought a round of them, and so on, and so on. And that's really it. That's all I remember.
Have you got a final memory you can pinpoint? Can you remember you standing somewhere or
I can remember
talking
putting,
to someone?
I think I was gathering my shit together to leave, but I wasn't leaving by myself.
No.
I think there was a few of us going elsewhere, and that's then it gets very foggy until about 5:30 in the AM, where I just realised that I'd been walking for hours. It was freezing. I can't find my phone.
Oh dear, Scott, the phone. Whenever anyone drunk loses their phone, it's like if you took a drunk person and like cut off one of their limbs. When the drunk person loses their phone, they can't, like the amount of times you have to deal with drunk people in the pub and they've lost their phone, and for half an hour you're just telling them, look, it's gone.
Yeah.
Go home. Like, you're not gonna find it. You're not gonna fucking be able to.
You will check that pocket 50 times though.
Yeah.
It was right there. Yeah, and it fucking ain't anymore, is it? Well, maybe it's in the other pocket.
So I can imagine.
Maybe it's in the other pocket.
I can imagine you drunkenly walking around trying to find it for a while.
That may have happened. These are all. That's a possibility. I mean, there's also a possibility. I remember vaguely trying to get into an office building, and the security guard just looking at me like I was fucking crazy, which I was.
For anyone who doesn't know, the voicemail you heard just after the break there, that was a message I got from Scott at 1 o'clock in the morning. I slept through. I woke up, I had 5 or 6 missed calls from him. The final one being at 3:30 in the morning. So obviously my brain was pondering, hey, look at this fucking drunkard. He was out all night fucking partying it up. And maybe you were to an extent, Scott.
I don't do it that often anymore, but we've known each other a long while, and you know how far off the pier I can travel. You know, when it comes to
Scott, you know me. I'm one of the worst for it as well.
We don't have to explain ourselves to each other, but we might have to the audience.
Drunken blackouts are a fucking standard procedure for me. And I hate them, man. I hate waking up the next day.
Scary.
Yes, exactly, because it's that idea that during those couple of hours, who the fuck was at the controls of the helm? Who was driving this fucking machine? Because it wasn't me. I was asleep. Like, you know, I was asleep for 4 hours, but there's another, you know, so you know, it's that kind of when you do something, then you're like, did I do that? No, I wouldn't have done that. And it's like, no, I did. Yeah, Liam, you climbed up on top of a bus and, you know, started jumping around.
But see, that's the thing. It's like, who's at the helm? I know who's at the helm, and he should not be allowed out in public. He's the one that shouts "cunt" at buses, and, you know, thinks it's hilarious to dance up to people. Anyone,
or that any woman at that point is completely irresistible to your charms, when in reality you probably got fucking sauce all over the front of your shirt, and you're fucking probably like, you know,
you're the logical work, like, she'll just see that my lips are moist, she won't care that it's drool, you know. She won't care that it's just it's eye tears and mouth spit all mixed into one. And she'll just see me trying to conjugate verbs and think, look at the strength in that young man's tongue.
Although, stop me if I've talked about this before, because sometimes I only forget. But I remember the most drunk I ever fucking got.
Oh, yeah.
Ever. And that was in the States. And I think I've told you the story, Scott, but I drank this big daiquiri. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you have told this story.
Yeah.
This is where you got arrested.
No, this isn't. No, this has nothing to do with an arrest. But I was in the States and it was a hot day, and old Ben Delacour says to me, like, no, go across. We went somewhere.
Yeah.
He
says to me, pour.
Yeah, well, dude, he tells me, go across the road to this shop and just ask for a white Russian daiquiri and get the extra large. So, you know, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, oh, fuck it. You know, okay, you know, Ben won't do me no wrong. So I go across the road and they give me this
first mistake.
They give me this drink, and of course it's like an American size where it's
big gulp.
The cup is ridiculous. Like, you know, you have to strain your arms to lift it. So we're just driving around and I drink this thing, and I drink it pretty quickly, and then I just completely black out. And from what everyone was telling me, I was sat at the table, I was talking, but I couldn't form words. And I woke up like 12 hours later, just like in the middle of the night, like 3 o'clock in the morning, just like, where the fuck am I? And the whole house was empty, everyone was gone, and I didn't even feel that hungover. I was just like, what the fuck happened? And when I asked Ben about it the next day, he was like, yeah, man, there was like 16 shots in that fucking drink. I was like, 15 shots? And I drank it in like 2 hours, like 3 hours. God, it was so delicious, and I was so hot, like that.
I went down a treat.
But fuck, man, that was definitely the drunkest. It was like from sober to drunk, but it was ridiculous. Like, I can remember it taking effect, and I don't like. Well, I do like it, but I don't like it. I think everyone's got that love-hate relationship with alcohol. We're not really sure why we do it to ourselves, why we drink, and why we. Because really, the hangovers are fucking horrendous. The cost of it is fucking horrendous.
Yeah, and the shame.
Shame.
You
know, there are good stories and funny stories, but there's a lot of bad stories, and there's a lot of fucking terrible moments. Like
I've got at least one that ended up with me getting a pasting. One where I shit the bed. One where I slept outside a train station all night. In central London. So yeah.
Well, the stories are just fucking endless.
Plenty of hilarity, plenty of sadness. It's a seesaw.
It does, yeah. It does make me debate whether I should cut it out. But then, what would I do to fill that fucking void? Like, well, you know, what would I do instead of drinking? You know, you can smoke weed, but it's a bit boring and antisocial after a while.
Depends on what you call boring and antisocial. I like a lot of the activities that you've just described. Not talking to people and watching darts. There's two things that I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't like to do. I loved yesterday, which was Sunday, by the way. It was a final. No, they played the quarters, the semis, and the final all in one day. Cracking.
Fuck you and your fucking darts, man.
Hey, I had a great time on Friday. It was really nice to catch up with the boys.
Makes you sound like such a fucking old fuck, like loving up the darts.
I know it's not something that I ever saw myself getting into.
No, no.
But it kind of took me by surprise. Like I'll tell the story. It's pretty good. First night ever, I just got asked if I wouldn't mind playing, like making up the numbers for the darts team. And I was like, yeah, sure. It was like, I was a little bit nervous, but I went down the pub with Neil and had a bit of a practice. But all the while there, they're going, don't worry, don't be nervous, you know. We get there and find out the BBC are filming a fucking documentary with Bobby George and Mickey Flanagan. So we go down there and it's nothing but spotlights.
Bit of pressure on you there, Scott.
I just remember drinking, and I think that may have ingratiated me to everyone in the team at that time. Although I'm sure it didn't in the later days. Christ, I've got so many fucking hangover drinking stories. There was a good year and a half, 2 years, Liam, where I didn't know a Friday without a hangover.
I don't know any day without a hangover, Scott. Every fucking day. My days off are the only days that I sometimes don't wake up with a hangover. Like work at the moment. The other day,
there are people listening to this going, "What?"
The other day, okay. So when was it? It was Saturday night. I was working. It was an 11-hour shift. So a long fucking shift. Oh god, I got pains in my side. Oh, I'm having a stroke.
Strokes in your head, dickhead.
I thought half of your body went
What are you
numb.
supposed to do when someone has a stroke, Liam? Face.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't even remember the face thing. Jesus.
Yeah, the face starts going slobby on one side, so you just push him in the cupboard and lock
Remind
him
me
in.
not to have a heart attack. It'll try and get my stomach pumped.
But I forget what the fuck I was talking. Oh yeah, Saturday. So it was dead. So
Oh, my side.
I had a drink. Obviously, it was boring. Someone had bought a pint. I haven't got many standards. Someone had bought a pint, and you know when you put something on top of it to save it.
Yeah, which means people like you are not allowed to touch
No,
my drink.
but dude, they'd been sitting on the bar there for 10-15 minutes. The person, I knew everyone that was in there. No one was coming back for it, and if they did, I would just give them another one. So I just grabbed it.
Still an expert minesweeper, Liam.
So anyway, grabbed it and drank it. I said, it's paid for. I'm gonna drink it. So I drank it, and then some crazy guy comes up to the bar and he's like, "Oh, I want a Jaeger bomb." And I was like, "Okay." And he's like, "Will you do a Jaeger bomb with me?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll do a Jaeger bomb with you." "Will you do 2 with me?" "Oh, all right." So I make 4 Jaeger bombs. We do them in but quick succession.
Are you working?
Yeah, I'm working at this point.
Okay, right.
And then it's even more boring. And then I get my staff drink. And then the guy comes back, buys me another Jaeger bomb. And by the end of the shift, I'm just fucking plastered. I'm absolutely fine. I can remember closing up. Everything was fine. Everything was closed and done. Whenever you drink during work, what usually happens is that you're fine up to the point when everyone leaves. And then, it's like the buzz of the night kind of goes. When...
So you want to reclaim it a bit?
Well, no. But you know what I mean? When you're out partying, you're having a good time, you're at the pub, and suddenly the pub shuts, all the lights come on. And suddenly...
Oh, yeah, that's a very...
suddenly you're like, ugh, I'm disorientated. What the fuck's going on?
Ugh.
And the alcohol kind of hits you even heavier there, because you're like, oh... It's like when you come out the cinema. Oh, real world, what the
I find
fuck?
that with the booze anyway, when you hit the fresh air sometimes. You get a whiff of it up the wrong nostril and you're like, ooh...
So then we finished the night, but I gotta say, it's very rare for me not to get drunk at work. Well, not drunk, but...
That's because you work in a pub, though.
Yeah.
Although, is it? Because I'm not sure everyone that works in a pub... Well, maybe they do, I don't know.
It depends.
What's your experience?
It depends on...
Usually flagrant pissheads?
It depends on the venue, man. It depends, some places they just don't... They don't allow you to drink at all. But I can drink there. It's fine. I don't push it to any extremes. I've never.
You don't do Jaeger bombs with strangers and shit.
Well, I did it that night, but I knew, it's going to be dead. You can. It's like picking your battles.
You say it was Saturday night?
Yeah. It happens, man. It happens with
too cold,
and it's not far enough into central Camden for it to.
Yeah. Amazing.
So whenever we've got a gig at the Roundhouse. Or we've got a gig going on upstairs in the thing, then it'll be busy. But otherwise, no. But anyone come down, all you fuckers, if you're in town, come down.
It's not Saturday night, man.
No, come down anyway. It's always a laugh, man. You can get drunk with me, just to buy me a drink, and I can drink a drink with you, Yeah, you still are the biggest fucking fucktard.
I haven't been there.
I've been there for 3 months now.
Yeah,
and this is
that
weird.
Is that the longest?
This is probably the longest. Yeah, you haven't fucking come and had a beer, and especially some of my shitter pubs. You should, why come down and have a beer? But this one, it's like Camden. I told you, It's a nice community. You know, there's a bit of a community vibe. So it's a sort of place that you can kind of come stand at the bar and you can have chats with people. It's not like a lonely sort of pub. Right, you know, who knows who you'll be talking to. There's plenty of nutters in there, but...
It's nothing personal, it just hasn't kind of happened
Your
yet.
finances have been just dreadful
Well,
last couple of months.
They've been, yeah.
Are they picking up now? They must be, now you're working again.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just throwing the hours in. Just giving them bits of the soul.
Got to save up for a new phone now as well, Scott.
Ah, fucking phone. Well, I'm getting my SIM card in the post. So I'll resort to the cheapie, the one I bought the last time I fucking lost the iPhone. Well, I didn't lose it.
The problem is that, but then when you
lost in someone's hand.
When you convert to the cheaper phone, all the money you're spending on internet minutes and stuff, it's just wasted, then, isn't it?
It is, but I'm not paying that much anymore.
You're only paying £13 or something, aren't you?
Yeah, like 15, SIM only.
Yeah, that's fine then.
I was at the end of like a 2-year contract, and I didn't really feel like signing up to, I like the iPhone. The iPhone 6 was something like 55 quid a month. It's like, that's more than I pay for gas, and that keeps me warm.
Probably since I got my phone at the end of December, I think I've spent 20 quid on it. I topped it up when I got it, and I topped it up the other week, and that's it. Because it's connected to the internet, and because everywhere's got Wi-Fi, why the fuck do I need to pay anything for it?
Yeah.
You know, you can contact people through all these different fucking applications. Why do you need to be able to text and call people? All it needs to do is be a small laptop. I don't understand why everyone doesn't just get Skype. Everyone just chats to each other on Skype. I don't understand why they don't just get rid of.
Doesn't that cost money?
No, I thought Skype's free.
No, I'm sure. Yeah, it's all like international calls that I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Oh, only because I've tried to set it up for an old lady to speak to her Japanese granddaughter. No, because I'm, conversing with people on the other side of the world.
Sounds like Babe Station.
Tell me you love me. Well, no, actually, getting back to the whole drunkenness thing as well, I think there are certain types of drunks. That there are the happy-go-lucky drunks. There are the violent drunks. There are the belligerent drunks.
Which category are you? Belligerent?
I fall somewhere between the belligerent and...
Dangerous.
No, not dangerous, just... I don't want to say violent. Aggressive. Aggressive.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Fucking do you, mate?
I'm not much of an alpha, so I think there might be some shit come out, maybe some chest beating.
That's always weird thing.
Is this revelation?
It's called TED Talks. Have you ever heard of it?
Yeah.
It's like people do like 7-minute small talks on different issues. You ever heard of this?
Yeah, TED Talks.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Anyone out there, fucking check them out. There's a great one with Ruby Wax where she's talking about mental health, and she brings up, she's a bit annoying for her, the way Ruby Wax is, but you ain't got to deal with her for a few minutes. But one interesting point she brings up is that back in the day, anything that you had beef with, you killed. Like, that was the, if there's something, if say you're a caveman, I don't know, there's a velociraptor having a go at you, you just fucking
Highly inaccurate. Go on.
throw a spear at it and kill it. Whereas nowadays, you get stress, and how exactly are you meant to vent and release? Like jogging and exercise, like that's what they recommend. It's not the same as killing the thing that fucking angers you.
Well, yeah, but that's because sometimes we all act irrationally. We can't just go around murdering people that piss us off.
Yeah, but I think that people, like aggressive, violent people, there's something to it, Scott. They always seem pretty happy. Like all the people, like there's a guy that comes down the pub. His name's Jimmy, and he's fucking tough as fuck, and he's got a reputation. Like, he might have murdered someone or something. Like, he's done time.
Don't fuck with him.
Yeah, he's done time, but he's a proper geezer. But he'll do anyone and he'll kill anyone. But he's a really nice guy, and he's always got quite a big smile on his face, apart from when it turns into like anger and rage.
Well, that's what people are worried about, because they don't want to be there and say the wrong thing. They'd rather be able to say all the things.
Yeah, but for him, it's a fucking great thing.
Yeah, not if he like.
He was in the newspaper involving fucking Russell Brand as well. I don't know, there was some news story. He was out with Russell Brand, and they got into a fight with the cops, and the cops busted his leg, and he sued them and like got a shit ton of money off the fucking cops or something like that. I read it. Like,
Sounds like a money spinner. It sounds like a winner.
yeah, it's not like character. I was thinking like,
Hey,
I was thinking like that'd be an interesting person to podcast with. Like,
So, what usually sets you off?
where are the bodies buried? Let's go
It's
and
not-
dig them up live.
It's not looking at you like this, is it? Because I can stop looking at you like this. I don't have to look at you like this. Please take my hand out your neck.
But yeah,
My neck out your hand. Shit! The weed's kicked in.
bottling it already, Scott. Right, well,
I'm not fighting imaginary hard men. Are you mad?
Yeah.
I get my ass kicked.
well, is there any final thought you'd like for this evening, Scott? We're coming to the end of the show now.
I would like to say, I thought it was hilarious how Andy Murray had a fucking semi-breakdown in front of loads of people on the tennis court.
Yeah, there's something called professionalism. Like,
Yeah, and you broke all those. That was hilarious, but in
What
a
does he
laughing
do?
at you kind of way.
who's he shouting at? Is he shouting at the crowd or himself or what?
Oh, he got frustrated because the other guy like had a bit of a limp at the beginning of the match and started kicking his ass. And he was like, "Oh yeah, his fucking limp's gone," you know, and like, "Oh yeah, look, he does it all the time," just like
Really?
a madman in a park,
Like he's
just
like
shouting into the ether, and they're like, "Oh, stay away from him."
yeah, he does come across as a bit of a douchebag, doesn't he? Even my mum was saying like, you know, she's big into her tennis, and she's happy that an English person, well, you know,
He's Scottish.
GBR won the fucking Wimbledon and everything, but she says don't really like him, don't like the way he plays, and don't really like him as a person. And I gotta kind of agree.
I don't know that much about him, but he just strikes me as dour and Scottish, and that's fine.
He reminds me of a bit of a fucking Chelsea boy. Like that's what comes across from him, that he's a bit yah, and he thinks he's a badass, and he thinks he's a toughie, but he ain't. He's got floppy fucking hair, and he's like, yeah, I don't want to fucking smack him in the face and tell him to go fuck himself.
He did survive Dunblane though.
Oh, he shouldn't have.
Yeah. Maybe that's why he became so good at tennis. He saw that guy wielding a machete and it taught him how to serve. You gotta get it really high
Yeah.
and be serious all the time. And I just wasn't on my game. Fuck you, Andy. Your game is tennis. What have you got to do? Not break down in front of people. So that was quite amusing.
Not being just don't be a twat. There's no need to be like, you get paid fucking ridiculous bucket loads of money to fucking run around hitting a fucking tennis ball. Like, who the fuck are you to start fucking throwing a wobbly?
Yeah. It'd be like me on Friday throwing my darts and being like, it's a fucking board. It's a fucking board.
Oh, look at this guy. He's throwing them in the fucking board. What a bastard.
Look. Just obviously this board ain't conducive to receiving my arrows. But if you take a look at this man's, you know, just no. The light's all wrong. I don't like the way she's looking at me.
Who's been anyway, fuck it. Well, people.
Liam will attempt geezerisms next week.
Yeah, I always give it a shot. Well, we're gonna fucking leave it on that. But yeah, starting next week there'll be a phone number. We might once I got the phone online, I might post about it so we can get some people. So maybe get some people to ring in. But
The People's Hotline.
people's hotline. Say whatever you want, do whatever you feel. But yeah.
We may listen to it, we may not.
Oh no. I there was.
I mean, take it on board. Listen.
Yeah.
You know.
No, it was quite an enjoyment finding out I can record them. I'm liking all this editing and all this sound thing. Is like, yeah, I can call people up and whatever they say to me, I could record it and use it against them. So be wary if you receive phone calls from me in the future. Well, we'll leave it on that on that happy note.
I have nothing to add. I think
Well,
you should
Scott,
be wary
you've got-
if you ring him in future.
Well,
You've
Scott, you've got
convinced
nothing to worry about because you don't have a fucking phone.
me. Not ringing you anyway now.
Right. Any thoughts on your last song, Scott? Or
Yeah, listen to it. It's going to be good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Bye.
This whole fucking generation is so unbelievably sad. If you're just getting to like partying age, you're fucked. There's nothing going on in this country anymore. It's done. Last call. It's just a suck generation. It's the most boring fucking generation in the history of people.
Well, I've been to hate to Brighton, I've been to Eastbourne too.